So I've gone ahead and to Laravel.com, and if you want to, you can use this command to create a new Laravel project. I've already created the project just from scratch with nothing installed whatsoever. So what I want to make sure of now is, as a starter, I'm using Laravel Herd here to essentially run the application. So it's kind of like Homestead, but I'm just using that instead of using um, other third parties. So I'm gonna go ahead and run npm install. Or if you're using Bun or Yarn, you can also use that by saying Bun install or Yarn install. I'm gonna then run npm run dev. Make sure that you have the app URL properly set in here. So for example, you want this set to be, if you're using the PHP artisan serve command, that you set the port as well. And I'm keeping my entire application without a slash here. So if you, for example, were using PHP artisan serve, I would put localhost 8000 to make sure there's no conflicting issues with storage. But I'm going to use this URL that's provided using Laravel Herd. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this URL here. And actually, you can see we've got a boilerplate Laravel application set up. So what we want to go ahead now and do is we want to install a starter kit which Laravel comes with, which is called Laravel Breeze. And Breeze allows us to install an authentication system using React. So all we really need to do is just compose the required first, of course. Go ahead and create a new terminal for that. And then outside of that, what you just want to make sure is to run Breeze install and migrate it. In this case, I would like to point out for this application, I'm using Postgres. So for this, I'll just go ahead and make sure we have the correct configuration set up here. But since I'm using Postgres SQL, you may need to change a few of the migrations tiny bit around if you experience any issues. So I'm going to go ahead and call this database SaaS Boilerplate. And if I go back in here now, I will copy this. And you can see we get a command here where we can choose which one we want to use. I'm going to use React with inertia. So you could go ahead and choose dark mode and inertia SSR and TypeScript. However, I'm going to leave those out in this case and just do it without any of those. I'm going to use PES as the testing framework. And then inside the database, what I want to just go ahead and make sure is that we have this database created now. So let's go ahead and do that. And then just search for it. Perfect. So we now got this database created. I'm going to go ahead and migrate this. And there we go. So we now have all of this done here, and that's basically all we need for the basic authentication. So later down the line, what we're also going to be using is we're going to be using Cashier. I'm not going to show you how to go with this with the paddle integration. I'm going to use Stripe. However, they are similar frameworks, so you packages, so you could probably use either or. So I'm going to go ahead and require Laravel Cashier now because I know we're going to be using that over the course of. And the only other thing I want to make sure we have is really just publish the migrations. And migrate again. And then let's take a look at what these migrations bring along for us. So as you can see, we now got a subscriptions and subscription items table here. And we've got a few different things here, such as Stripe ID and card details here for the user's card. With that sorted, what we can now go ahead and do is, before we go ahead to the next tutorial, is ensure that the user can be billed and that it can actually be charged a certain fee. So I'm going to use the billable class. You can import that using the Laravel /cashier/billable. And that's basically it for this video. So thank you very much for watching it, and I'll see you in the next video where we're going to be starting out by building other aspects of the application, such as the payment form, which I think we're going to be working on next. Thank you very much for watching. Please hit the like button, the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.